Whoa, are we live? What just happened? Did we go live? I guess we went live. I wasn't ready for that at all.
I don't even know where I'm at.
I just sit down. I didn't even know what was going on.
It kind of scared me.
Look, it looks like we got Venusaur X gave us some gift subs to Timmer and Mr. Monkey. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Every little bit helps. And subs are great to have.
Unless you're a Dom.
What?
What?
Man, how was your week? Is it good? Here, I'm gonna cheers you. I'm just gonna say cheers.
It's okay.
Cheers. This is
kind of slow. No sound.
Hazel said there's no sound. It's good on our side. It looks like it's going out. Oh yeah, it says it's going out. Check. I can hear it fine. I wonder. Hopefully, Hazel. Hopefully it's working. Jamie said it's working on her computer. Man, Chris would be so proud of us. We're just drinking a big old glass of whiskey tonight.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we didn't do cheers.
Holy shit, Doug.
What?
You trying to fucking kill me?
No. I'm trying to make you I don't know. I'm excited about tonight. I think tonight's gonna be a good night.
That shit. And I could smell it when it was over there. I was like, that's whiskey.
It is whiskey. It's bourbon.
You know why? It brings back a lot of memories. Bad memories.
What, bourbon? What happened with bourbon?
Like me waking up in the alley, butt cheeks flayed open, like a fucking filet mignon.
Dude, speaking of butt cheeks, I didn't even put this in my notes. I completely forgot about it. But, man, that girl... Oh, I thought that was for us. That girl whose butt cheeks got seared on the stove.
That was kind of hot. I was like, that's kind of hot.
She was on a hot stove. Emily's dad has one of those kind of stoves in his house, and it's really cool. Like, they light it up. You can cook stuff on it. It's pretty fun. Oh, so should we get into it?
Like fight?
Are you scared?
Like fight?
Hey, Mr. Monkey.
What's up, Mr. Monkey?
You got a gift sub. I don't know if you saw that or not, if you just showed up.
Man, I'm already drunk.
Venus4 gave you a gift sub.
Drunk.
Off of one sip? Oh, that's messed up.
I don't drink a lot. But lately I have been wanting to drink.
That's just 4 ounces of straight whiskey. So it should be pretty good. Look, there's Bob Ross. So I'm kind of excited tonight because we have a disagreement on this one, and I kind of like whenever we have a disagreement because then we can just talk about it. But I fell into the hype maybe because this thing is getting crazy reviews from the festival circuit. A Wounded Fawn, by the way. We didn't even mention the name of the show because we just started talking about sound and drinks.
So I know this is like ahead of the story, but was he the Wounded Fawn at the end?
No, I think
flailing around.
I think the ladies are the Wounded Fawns.
I thought it was him.
I mean, at the end, so funny. He's pretty fucked.
It was 11 minutes.
Dude, that shit's crazy.
11 minutes.
I was reading that they just rolled tape until the machine ran out.
I like how it was
until the
film
canister ran out.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Dude, so I actually messaged the cinematographer.
That's so cool that he actually messaged you back. I think that's amazing. Well, I say that for everybody.
Okay.
I say
you don't
dudes.
like to gender anyone?
No, I'd say dudes. I call it girls dudes. I mean, they probably hate it, but I mean, that's just, I grew up like that. I used to call my ex to do something, I'd be like, dude. You know what I mean? I've always done that.
But her name is Kasusha Dinenfield, and she's Russian, or she was Russian. I don't know if she's still Russian. She's from Russia. And, man, she wrote me back because I asked her. I'd read that it was on 16 millimeter.
People love those
so
cameras.
I was just kind of wondering. Yeah, it was the Ariflex 416. She used that, and she also told me the stock she used was the Eastman Kodak 7219. And the funny thing is, I looked at that and I was like, there's a website called Shot On What? And all it has is like all the technical information for video. So I just put in like, Ariflex 416. And the crazy thing is the film and the camera are the exact same film and camera they use to shoot Walking Dead.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Walking Dead's on film?
Yeah. Apparently so. That at least if that.
I like how everything always comes back around.
I know.
I like the way it looks. That's why I probably liked the way this movie was shot. It looked real grainy and stuff.
Yeah,
I loved it. I love that part.
Yeah. Hey, Lyric.
Lyric!
I think like that's one of the cool things about 16 millimeter is it just looks. Especially depending on how you push it, like the film can be really grainy, like it was in this. I mean, it was crazy. The grain was so, like,
damn me and my TV. I didn't see it. My TV sometimes is too. No, for real.
Like it's too
clear. So I didn't really notice it that much.
It's probably upscaling it to 65 millimeter IMAX.
Jerk TV.
70 millimeter.
I actually
IMAX.
turned down the brightness. It looks better.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's been some good movies shot on 16 millimeter, and I mean, probably in our world, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like one of the big ones, and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I actually just listened to a podcast with the cinematographer from that, and he was talking about how they just like had the cheapest, craziest budget. I mean, the crazy low budget. Jamie asked if this is a Shudder original. It is a Shudder original. But I really like the 16 millimeter look. I think it's cool, and I also think that, like as far as like cinematography goes, man, this thing was right on the mark. I loved all these shots. I thought they were awesome. The lighting was awesome. Like they totally had. It was kind of like one of the 70s Mario Bravas or Argento things, like the color of it.
The restroom scene at the beginning.
Like
when the owl shows up.
Oh yeah.
And it's just standing in the restroom.
Yeah.
That was very Argento.
And like the just like whenever the very first opening scene where they're at the auction house. And it's doing those crazy close-ups on like the tie clip and like, his face. And I mean, it just looked to me, it looked very Argento-ish, Mario Brava-ish. And I thought that was really cool because I'd heard somebody describe it. I saw somebody describe it as, and I think I told you this, that it was like a mix between, or it was, what'd they say? It was Giallo meets Mandy.
I think I read that too.
What I saw like somebody say, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So like I was excited about it going into it. And
It was Jamie. It was almost cosmic.
It's close.
Because they had another maybe 5 to 10 minutes more of pinks and purples.
It would have been cosmic horror.
Yep.
So I think,
but there was nothing to do with space, so that would kind of throw it off.
I think I like this movie a whole lot, and I like it because like right away they throw you into kind of the Greek mythology, and is that like kind of what you didn't like about it?
I'm not really big into Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get everything that was being thrown at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like very
and after I saw it, I read up on it what I could find, and it was like based on Greek mythology, and I was like,
it's really weird. I mean, it's like a Greek mythology thing hidden like in the art world, but like I really liked just all the little things they threw in there, like okay, when she's getting ready to go to the car, whenever she first like is going to leave with him, and and she comes out, Meredith, played by Sarah Lynn, she comes out to
She was really good in the movie.
she was good. She was my favorite actor in the whole thing. I mean, there's not a lot of actors in it, but she was really good. Like her emotions and her everything, I really liked it. Hey, Frank. But she goes out to meet Bruce, played by Josh Rubin, and right, we already know Bruce is a bad guy, but we don't know that that's who she's meeting necessarily. And she walks out, and right before she gets to the car, that Doberman Pinscher runs by.
Yeah, see, and I was like, what the hell was that about?
So to me, I was like, oh, okay, that's Cerberus, who's the guardian of hell. Like he'll let you in, but not let you out. And so it's like, as soon as she crosses that line, like she's on her journey to hell. You know, so it's like, and I don't
see. I know who Cerberus is.
Yeah,
but like I wouldn't have picked that up because I'm not really big into Greek mythology.
Dude, you know what you need to know about Greek mythology is the three women that are in the statue, which later on, you know, become the three women at the house. Those three women are born from Kronos fighting Uranus.
Whoa.
So Kronos, I mean, you know the video game Kronos, you know, God of War. So Kronos cuts off Uranus's junk, like cuts his dick and balls off and throws him to Earth.
I know what junk is.
Yeah, junk. And the blood that splatters on the Earth
makes the daughters,
makes a couple other like demigods, but they're born out of his blood, and thus are there, you know, like for revenge purposes, basically, people that are done wrong, like Uranus was done wrong. So like that was pretty cool. I thought, you know, like, I mean, that's just a part of cool mythology that, you know, he cut Uranus's
that is cool.
Wanger off.
Yeah, excuse me.
And people are born from the blood. But
and it's crazy how I should like
dude, it's too much.
I like Clash of the Titans. I saw that shit at the theater.
Yeah. And it's also weird, it gets to like, well, so all the Roman gods, Jamie asked, it must be Roman. Oh, our video just went out. Uh-oh. That's not good. There it goes. It came back. Sorry for the video thing.
Uranus is Coolio.
I know. Coolario? How do you say that?
Culo.
Culo. So, I don't even know where I was. That threw me off, the video going out. Oh, yeah, all the Roman gods are the Greek gods. The Greeks pretty much came up with that whole mythology, and the Romans just changed it. So there's gods that directly are gods in the Roman mythology that were gods in the Greek mythology, but they like changed the name a little bit. So I don't know.
So who was he? Who was
Well, this is all in Greek mythology.
Would he be Hades?
Who? Well, so the owl. There was a Greek god who watched the orchards in hell, and he was the guardian of them or whatever. And whenever some of the gods were visiting, Persephone ate a...
Man, you know a lot about this stuff, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I used to really like Greek and Roman mythology a lot, and then once I watched this movie,
I think you like all the the Greek
Boobs.
boys.
Boobs.
All the Greek boys would have
No,
orgies.
Boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Boobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boobs.
Sure.
Those people holding the pots. Those women
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the pots.
Yeah, yeah.
They all have boobs.
The Greek boy orgies.
And the boobs. You look at the boobs while you're doing that stuff, and it makes you not feel as bad. But Persephone ate a pomegranate, which they're also like show a lot of pomegranates in the movie, and so Jamie said she just looked it up, and Uranus in Greek mythology is the personification of of heaven. Human. Why did I say that?
I don't fucking know. That was weird.
Because we're our own gods.
Goddamn right.
So, whenever he basically ratted her out, he's like, "This bitch done ate a fucking pomegranate," which is against the rules. Because she ate something in hell, she had to like remain there for 40 days. And whenever she had to remain there for 40 days, I can't remember who it was. One of the gods got mad at him for being a rat and turned him into an owl. And so then he became like an owl in hell and was like still like a god. But
that's crazy. See, this movie now makes
a
lot of sense
and
now.
so then the owl became the like kind of a symbol of like fucked up stuff and doing mischievous and stuff like that. So I think that's like the movie. It's not a passive movie at all because you can enjoy it, I think, but I think it's like you'd be like, what the fuck is this fucking owl, and why are these women alive and again and haunting him and like all that kind of shit. But I mean that's kind of the basic.
That's a good question, Jamie.
Is the owl the same as the little mechanical owl in Clash of the Titans? Well, the funny thing is that one was kind of mischievous too, right? They didn't say anything about that in Clash of the Titans, I don't believe, but I haven't seen that in years. And I don't think it was, but I don't know. Even like the little like claw thing, the little like fucking ninja climber thing. I was kind of wondering about that too, because there was like the man, I don't know. I looked way too deep into this shit. Like I was like reading way too much stuff into it. Like there was like the claw of Archimedes that was like supposed to protect the Greek cities, and it was like this stupid. It was on ancient weapons. And it was like this big claw that was supposed to be able to grab the ship's stern, like as it was coming in, and like, and like grab it and flip the ship. And they actually like recreated one, I think, on like MythBusters or something, and it worked with a model and stuff. But I was like, I don't like that's supposed to keep ships from reaching the thing. Like, I wonder if like this claw is like the way of the owl keeping the ships, the women, from reaching him and like him falling in love. I mean, that's like me really reaching there, but I
fucking makes sense, because if you don't know any of this shit like me, you're gonna be like, what am I watching?
So did you feel like it was just because I feel like whenever you told me, you were like, it just seemed like he was just crazy, or something like.
And I usually like movies like that, but I guess I just didn't understand it. And now that you're telling me all this,
well, the funny thing is, I went into it having already read that it was based on Greek mythology.
See, I didn't read anything on it. I didn't want to read anything on it. I just wanted to watch it.
I just read like a blurb that said like this whole movie's based on Greek mythology, so I was kind of watching for it, and I don't know, but I mean, even beside, I guess if you don't like that stuff or you don't have any knowledge of it, and you're kind of just like wondering like, what the fuck is this owl thing? Like, it's just like weird.
I just thought he was just fucking batshit crazy. I mean, he is.
He is. I mean, obviously. I mean, he's. I think he's kind of being controlled by the demon, but whenever. I mean, I have a lot of like thoughts on this movie. Like, this is a movie that made me really like. I was today. I was at work and I was just like thinking about it. I was like, dang, like because I was like,
really, that's
yeah,
weird.
because I don't like. There's so much little stuff. Like I was thinking, I'm gonna go over some of the stuff. So when the movie opens, we're at an auction house and they're bidding on the piece of Greek art that's already been.
What is it? The tormented fairies or
no,
the
no,
fairies?
no. It's the three. It's those three women.
No, but it's the name of it.
The name of it was, I know I wrote it down. Maybe I didn't. But it was like the Wrath of Horrendous. The three women.
I thought I read something else. Where the fuck did I read that it was a different name?
So it was like supposed to be the three like gods or demigods or whatever they are.
But I saw a different name, and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway.
But they're bidding on this thing, and it's weird. That shot in particular looked so like Italian horror to me, like the really close up shots and the colors of that room and the angles and everything. I thought that was really cool. But you know when he's talking on the phone and he's like, and the lady's outbidding him, and she ends up like, Kate, I think that was her name. She outbids him. And then it's going between her and this other guy. And at some point he talks to the phone. He's like, are you sure? Okay. And he says he's out. See, after the movie got going, after it was further in, I was like, oh shit. He's not talking to anybody on the phone.
That's what I thought too.
He's talking to the fucking owl.
After
like, I mean,
after everything, after he goes and he gets it, I was like, was he even talking to anybody on the phone?
No, and she asked, she says, do you work for a client or a collector? And he's like, is your client a collector or a museum or whatever? And he's like, both, you know, and so, and he had already said he sees something beautiful and he wants it. You know, I think he's talking about the woman, you know, and he wanted it. The owl guy was like, no, don't bid on it. Go over to her house afterwards and fucking kill her, you know? And so after the bidding's over, he shows up to her house and knocks on the door and says, my client's willing to double your offer. I'll wait out here. You call him. She's like, don't be stupid. Come on in. And
big mistake.
Because he like gives her the ninja claw.
Gives her the 0-1-2 to the jugular.
Yeah. What did you think about that stuff?
What? The gore?
Yeah, I mean, like, did you...
The murders?
The murder weapon and the gore and stuff, did you like it?
It was cool, yeah. I mean, the makeup was good, but it was just kind of weird with that claw thing.
Yeah, and the only thing I could think about...
But it's different. It's different rather than a knife, you know, or stabbing him in the back.
Yeah. I mean,
so it was cool, I guess.
That's kind of what I thought about the claw, is I thought maybe it was... maybe was the claw of Archimedes, you know. It doesn't directly translate. It's like, you know, like my far off theories. I was trying to read more Greek shit into it just because, you know, because that's kind of a way to make it make sense. But yeah, the gore stuff, there were a couple gore things that I really thought were awesome. Dude, when it showed his skull, whenever she had hit him and his like, it's like a broken piece of skull fragment and you can see his brain. Dude, that shit was awesome.
I was like, that dude would be knocked the fuck out.
he would probably be out. The owl was giving him power.
He would have been done.
He'd probably be dead. The eyeball, his swollen eye.
That shit was good.
Dude,
it looked real.
Fucking good. And they did a lot of stuff practical, which you know, I was like really stoked about. But man, that fucking eyeball, that makeup was good. It was a little too brief whenever it showed when it showed him cut her neck. You know, it was like real quick. But it looked good. I was thinking I would go back and pause it and see how it looked, but I didn't. You know, it was a quick flash. But I don't know. I liked when they were on the way there and
see, that's another thing I didn't. Dude, so many mixed signals with this girl.
Dude, So
I was like, do you like him?
okay,
Are you realizing he's a creep? Like, what the shit is wrong with you?
this is where I think the entire title comes from. Because the first girl, Kate, that he preys on, she's alone in a big house. She refers to her art as babies. She's, she's like, she gives herself, she takes a drink. She's like, good job, Kate. Oh, thank you. It's like she's this lonely, sad woman.
Like
She may be, she's a wounded fawn. And then the next woman is Meredith.
I guess she was doing that because she's like, she was hurt from her abusive relationship.
She was hurt from her abusive relationship.
Okay, now I just put it together. Yeah. She was like, whenever he grabbed her leg, she was kind of like, what the fuck? And then,
then she put her hand on it.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, it makes sense. And they were wounded fawns.
If she was at a very vulnerable stage, obviously, it's the first time she dated after getting out of an abusive relationship. If the other dude was super abusive, that might not even seem that bad to her, Jamie said, I felt like Meredith really wanted to like him, but there were red flags everywhere, literally, and he was creepy. Yeah, I felt the same way, but that's what I think, like, if she was wounded enough from her 3 years in an abusive relationship, like to a point where she's having to go to counseling for it, she, that doesn't even seem abusive to her anymore. Someone telling her to hold it in the bathroom, in the car, she's like, needs to use the restroom, like, and he's just like, just hold it. That doesn't even seem abusive to her anymore. It's like weird.
I know. I was kind of like, what a dickhead.
I know. And then, like, that's what I thought was funny, those red flags that were on the side of the road after he told her to hold it. I thought that was kind of funny. And then also, Lenora, who you don't meet, but you see her dead body, and she's one of the, she's the lady, the stick woman in the inn. She lived out in the middle of nowhere by herself. She was just like, maybe she was hurt and looking for somebody, and he shows up and kills her and just takes her house. That's what when I pictured when she's like, oh, it came on a market a few years ago, and then it shows him like with a picture. I was like, oh, this motherfucker killed her and just took her house because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Who's gonna know?
Who's gonna know? Like, she doesn't have any neighbors. She's probably like just hanging out there, and he just killed her and threw her in the backyard. So that's what I think the Wounded Fawn is, just about the women who are vulnerable, who are being taken advantage of. And, on the ride there, she even says something about kind of women being taken advantage of. Like her thesis in college was on, women being erased from history and accomplishments and stuff. Oh, there was something that I didn't catch and M caught that I mean, it's like so quick and flash, like, and we're not even sure because we rewound it, and there's so much motion blur on the film, like it's hard to tell. But when they're in the tunnel and they're going towards the house, she asks about his parents, and he turns towards her, and there's a weird sound that's just like, and then if you look real close, it looks like they passed the owl in the tunnel. But we tried to rewind it and pause it, and there was so much motion blur, I was like, I don't know if it was or not. And M thought it was, but I wasn't really sure. But then I started thinking, dude, what if this motherfucker killed his parents when he was a kid?
Yeah, if it was the owl, yeah, he killed him.
Yeah. I'd like to know if that was true or not. But other than the story, feeling like you maybe didn't like the story. And Jamie says they never addressed why.
Well, see, now that you explain all this to me about the Greek mythology, like, I want to rewatch it again and catch all that. So I want to give it another chance.
Yeah.
But the ending, the whole last part, is just fucking batshit crazy.
It is fucking crazy. And, I definitely saw some people say, like, oh, it was all in his mind. That's dumb. Like it was all like it didn't actually happen. Well, I think it did happen, and the only reason I think it did happen is because it may have been in his mind, but I think they were tormenting him in his mind, even if it was only in his mind.
So it may have been, and it was real to him. So it was real
to him.
So it was real.
Yeah, and gods don't need to actually show up to torment you. And the reason I think it was real is because she was seeing stuff too. You know, she was seeing the people in the woods. She was seeing the snake. She was seeing, like, her actual character was seeing all that stuff before he started being attacked, before he tried to kill her, you know? So, I feel like it was all real, even if it was just in his head. But, I mean, I saw some people, like, write it off, like, this is so dumb, it was just all in his head the whole time. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But,
that is true. She did see it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like, fucking nuts.
Yeah, it gets crazy. I mean, they're vengeance gods. So they're like, I mean, if anybody needs to be avenged, it was like 3 women who were taken advantage of and murdered, you know?
And see, I didn't know that about Uranus. That's how you probably say that.
Uranus.
I didn't know that about Uranus and fucking, what's his name? What's his name?
Kronos.
Kronos.
Yeah.
So it makes the fucking, Evil Dead. It makes it even more why they were after him. Because I knew the statue, and I was like, well, why are the chicks after him? Because I didn't know what the statue was.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they didn't really. I mean, they briefly touched on it, but it was pretty brief. Jamie said the stovepipe thing reminded me of Evil Dead. So there are only the things
that made me laugh. I was like, he's fucking battling a fucking stovepipe.
So I thought,
and it looked so fucking cheesy
because it was a real puppet. You know, it was like it was real.
Yeah,
real.
But it looked. I was laughing. I was like, "What
while
the
she's
fuck?
Like sitting on it naked.
What the fuck am I watching?" Like that's what I said.
So,
but he like
I didn't like that part. I mean, I liked the part. I liked
the burning butt cheeks. That was hot.
Yeah, and I liked. I mean, okay. So the 2 things that I didn't like in the movie were I didn't like that stovepipe thing, and I didn't like when they laser cut the owl and took it off, and it had that weird brain eyeball thing, whatever it was.
I thought that was fucking cool.
Okay, I did too.
It looked real fucking giallo.
Yeah, so
it looked like fucking something out of any of those movies.
I think what I didn't like about those 2 things is I felt like they didn't fit the whole
narrative of
it was like they didn't fit the feel of the rest of the movie. Like
that's why I liked it.
It's like everything was like 70s style, and then that was like 80s style. You know, and it was like, and I don't know if that
you thought that was 80s?
I thought it was like Evil Deadish.
I didn't think so. I thought it was. Oh, the stovepipe, yeah, but not not the fucking ribcage creature with the eyes.
I didn't know what that thing was.
That shit was badass. I liked that. I was like, oh fuck.
I thought it was cool too. I thought like it was.
I thought it looked. I thought it went with the movie.
Oh, see, I thought it was weird. I thought it went from this like real like creepy looking owl thing to kind of like, yeah, it kind of looked like a Sesame Street character. You know, Jamie said it looked like Sesame Street. Not really like Sesame Street character, but I felt like it was just
Big Bird.
I felt like it was just kind of weird that that's what was under the owl, but you know, whatever.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
that was the highlight of the movie for me.
Oh wow!
I was like, oh, that shit's weird.
Yeah, the.
I mean, it was no Halloween Ends, but
yeah. I don't. Jamie said maybe there was a meaning to it. You mean to the skull, monster or the rib cage eyeball brain single cell organism thing? I don't even know what to call it. Yeah, the eyeballs rib thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it didn't bother me. It was just like, that seems like a little weird. And then the stovepipe thing, I thought it was funny. It actually kind of made me laugh. They were baby back ribs with eyeballs.
Baby back ribs. So hungry.
Did you notice in his living room that there was that painting was like it looked like there was a woman kind of running away, but then there were like it was like 4 claw marks. The big painting that was living in his living room.
I think I kind of remember it.
If whenever you watch it again, you see it's like got like 4 bloody claw marks in it, and I was like, oh, this guy don't give a shit. But it's modern art, so nobody knows what any of it means. It's just a bunch of shit on a page or on a canvas.
Kind of like today.
Yeah. What another thing that was crazy about this is Josh Rubin, the main actor, played Bruce. He was the director of Werewolf Within.
I fucking love that movie.
Dude, that is such a good movie.
That's probably one of the best werewolf movies that come out in a while.
You know what's funny about that is,
and I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but the AT&T girl comes out in the movie. Like I was like, that's the AT&T girl.
Yeah,
it's great.
She plays a postal worker.
It's great. It was a good movie. I saw it twice.
That movie is really good, and I did not know.
And he directed it.
Yeah, I didn't know that was based on a video game. Isn't that weird? Like I had no idea when we watched it. I didn't even know like until a month later when I was reading something.
Didn't I tell you? I told you.
Oh, maybe
too,
you did. I want to play that game. I think it's like a mystery. It's like a horror mystery game, right? Like a clue, but
I like those. I like those type of movies.
You got to figure out who the werewolf is.
I won't tell you who it is. You'll never guess. Like you're gonna be like, who the fuck is it?
Yeah, that's a really good movie. That's a really good movie.
Good job, dude. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite. But to me, I really liked, and I can't remember who there was a guy who wrote this or came up with the concept. He's like listed as the co-writer or the screenwriter, I guess, but he came up with it, and then him and Travis Stevens like wrote the movie together. Travis Stevens directed, and I don't know. I think it's like a weird kind of movie because I think some people would really like it. Like most of the reviews I've read, I didn't read any reviews before watching it, but after watching it, I read a bunch of reviews because I don't really want them to influence me while I'm watching it. But reading the reviews afterwards, it's weird because some people just barely touch on like, oh, this is, it's got a Greek mythology type. And then they just talk about the second half of the movie and how fucking nuts it is. And they don't really talk anything about it. So it's weird that, they put so much Greek mythology in there, but I haven't really seen a review that talks about that too much. But I can totally see how it'd be. You would just be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is just weird shit that makes no sense, And I think there's a lot of movies like that. I think Mandy's kind of like that. but Mandy's like a whole nother level of craziness.
Mandy's like an Asia album cover turned into a movie.
Dude, crazy. Just pure crazy. With Nick Cage. If you were to put Nick Cage on an Asia album cover...
That's probably like my favorite movie is.
What, Mandy? There's so many.
It brings back a lot of memories about us getting trashed on the original Sinister Sinema.
Oh my God.
I don't even remember.
3 shots in a show. That was rough.
Terrible.
That was real rough.
Terrible. If this was still 3 shots in a show, we'd already be shit-faced.
Oh, we would have already done 3 shots. Now we're just sipping. Just slowly sipping. So, another gore thing that I think was 100% practical, that was literally something that made my skin kind of shiver, was when Meredith is in the bathroom and she's pulling that freaking hangnail skin.
Yes, I was like, oh!
Like, it actually made me, like, I had, like, an actual, like, physical reaction to that. And I was like, that's the simplest thing ever. Like, but you can feel it because you know exactly what that feels like. So I thought that was awesome. I thought that was cool. And, because that's just like such a dumb, simple thing, but it was like, it's like the first time you see like an Italian film poke somebody's eyeball out.
Italian horror movies have the best gore.
Dude,
They
yeah.
all make you go get squeamish.
I loved I loved it in this setting. The whenever he wakes up from being knocked out and there's like the whole like giant puddle of blood and it's just that crazy like fucking Italian red. Just
yeah, I know. I was like, holy shit, that's red.
Like so.
He eats a lot of steaks.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then like the dude, what's up with him jerking off in the sink?
That was kind of weird.
Like whenever he kills somebody, he like whacks it into his sink. It was disturbing.
Hey, if you have a gimmick, you know, after you kill somebody, you got to jerk off in a sink. That's your gimmick. Stick to it.
Well, to me, this thing, I think my favorite thing about this, even more like than the story, was like, dude, I loved the cinematography. Dude, I felt like some of these camera angles and lighting and the slow pushes, and there was one scene where they're in the woods. It's like in the second act or third act in the second part or whatever it is. I don't know. There's a part where right before one of them run by, it's like a zoom focus, but it's like a zoom focus on a zoom focus on a zoom focus. Did you see that part? Like, it's this really weird camera
I don't
movement.
remember. I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, it's this really weird camera movement, and I mean, I'm assuming they did some of those movements and then edited them together, but it was like so weird looking. It just looked like all that shit looked so trippy in that part. And I really liked it. I don't know.
Another favorite part is when he fucking finally comes to and he's tied to the chair.
Yeah.
And fucking Sarah, she's just there in a fucking tarp.
Dude.
She's just there in a tarp and she's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, that was just weird.
I was like, that whole shit was just, I mean, it wasn't in his imagination. Some of it was, I guess, like you said. But all the fucking flowing gowns and shit.
Yeah. Dude.
Elegant gowns when she was floating and that mask she was wearing and the snakes. It's just her with a rope
and then when
wrapped around her and fucking...
like, the fuck off or whatever she said.
Oh, did she say fuck off?
I don't know if she just fuck off or fuck you.
Yeah, it's one of them. But I fucking laughed. Because she's just standing there in a fucking shitty tarp.
Well, earlier in the movie when they first get there, she looks at the pile of wood.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen with that pile of wood later. And then when he leaves the house first looking for her, it shows the pile of wood again, but the tarp is missing off of it. And so she's wearing the tarp. But like, yeah, I mean, even to him like pulling the bed sheet off and turning it into a toga.
That shit was funny too.
Then it's like, he's a fucking toga.
He's just there fucking, and he comes running out in a fucking toga.
Yeah. I don't know. I really liked this movie. I thought it was like really good.
Now that you said it was all the Greek stuff in it, I want to watch it again.
I think
I'll probably watch it. Wow, I like it better.
I think if you watch it and you know that stuff and you're like kind of thinking about it in the back of your head, I mean, I think it would be enjoyable if you didn't know that, but not knowing that.
I enjoyed the craziness of it at the end.
That's
you have no idea, guys. Like, I'm watching it going, what the fuck is going on? That's how nuts it is. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah. And I could see how if you weren't like looking at the...
And that's why I usually like stuff like that, but I didn't understand the beginning. I guess I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And I think I could see like the things where people were like, oh, he was just crazy. Hey, Sid.
Hey, long time no talk.
And so I could see how if you were like maybe you were just watching it and you were like, this guy was just fucking crazy. Like, this movie's dumb. Like, it's just all in his head or whatever. But I think like knowing that it has something to do with like the gods and mythology, it makes like a little bit more sense that it could all be real and not be real, you know? But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like I also like that there's like films on Shudder that are doing good. The whole streaming service thing is like a disaster right now. Nobody's making money, and
Everybody wants to fucking do a streaming service.
dude, it's too much. Like Peacock is reporting losses. Disney is losing billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars on their streaming service. Um, did I say Peacock? Yeah, that one's tanking. Netflix is making money, but they're barely making money. You know, I think the worst one is Disney right now. But I think like Shudder is probably doing okay because they got bought
I
by
told
AMC.
you, AMC though is losing money too.
Oh yeah.
AMC's losing. They're going to start cutting people.
Yeah.
So people are worried that they're going to cut Shudder down. Like
Well,
it was on a
I think
page.
that's the only thing about Shudder is a very specific.
It's the best horror streaming service
it's
out there.
very specific, and so it doesn't, you know. Yeah, they're spending way too much money for they don't have enough subscriptions. They don't have enough subscriptions to cover their costs. I mean, especially Disney. Disney's making freaking blockbusters and just throwing them straight on Disney. You know, and so I think it's I was reading somewhere, I can't remember, I think it might have been Warner Brothers that said they were going to start focusing on
Just
big
horror.
theatrical releases instead of like pushing stuff to streaming, because streaming is making money, but it's not making money like theaters make money.
They're thinking it was still going to continue after COVID.
Yeah.
They were banking, dude, during COVID.
Yeah, because
People were just like, "Fuck yeah, new movie on TV, hell, $20."
Government's paying my bills, and I'm just get to sit home and watch movies.
So now everybody's going back out. Nobody's really watching anything. Now that shit's expensive.
Plus, I mean, you can't even name all the streaming services right now. They're insane.
Damn.
There's so many. I mean, there's multiple horror ones now. You know, for a while it was. I remember the night Joe Bob Briggs did his first special, and it was the very first thing Shudder did. And I tried to watch it because it was free that night. It was 100% free for like the first week Shudder was. And that first night, they were trying to do the stream with Billy Bob, and so many people logged on that it crashed their servers. They couldn't even keep it going. And so I like literally tweeted, and Joe Bob Briggs, did I say Billy Bob Thornton a while ago? Okay. Joe Bob Briggs like tweeted me back and was like, "Don't worry, it'll be available tomorrow on the service. You just have to log on and watch it."
What did you say? Shut the fuck up. He just text me back.
I wanted to watch it live.
Shut the fuck up. Is this really you?
Yeah. It's like, is this you or that girl with the big fake boobs? That's what I said. I don't know. It was, is it Darcy? What is it?
There you go.
Darcy the male girl? I don't
I thought
know
it started with an E. We ate.
No.
We ate. I don't know what the fuck you were going to say.
Yeah. But yeah,
You know, I've never seen any of his specials. I mean, I used to watch him on
Up All Night, TBS or
TBS.
whatever. Yeah.
But now on Shudder, I haven't seen a single one.
Dude, he was huge. I mean, he was from Dallas, and so like when we were kids, like he was like the shit because we were like, oh, this guy's from here. You know, it just makes it better. It's
so
like
there wasn't a lot of horror stuff back then. So I would watch that shit all the time. I'd watch Elvira too.
Elvira's late night thing.
And now there's so much shit. Like it's getting ridiculous, dude. There's so.
What was the Up All Night? Who was that? That wasn't Elvira. That was...
No, it was some chick. She was all talking like Up All Night,
and it would be horror movies. Yeah, that was the only shit I could watch.
And
we had antenna. We didn't have cable.
So many horror movies coming out now. Dude, like I can't even keep up.
This is like
I screenshot movies so I can remember them.
Dude, I feel like in 20, 30 years they're gonna call this the golden age of horror. Like, I mean, people used to say that about like the 80s and shit, but like there is so much coming out right now. I mean, more, you can't even keep up with it. It is so much, especially when you start looking at the originals. Like, Hulu's doing horror. Amazon's doing horror. Netflix is doing horror.
Amazon's catching up.
Dude, you got all that stuff. You have all those people making horror, plus the stuff that's actually coming out at the theaters.
And it's gotten so big, they're finally greenlit Constantine 2, which is going to be a hard R, rated R.
Is Constantine going to be in it again? John Wick?
Hell yeah, he's the one that came out and said.
That's the shit.
And he's scared. I always forget his name. He played the devil, but his name does not go with him. He's nervous. He says, I'm nervous about coming back to play that role. Like, he's going to be in it again. So I'm like, fuck, this is going to be great.
That's cool.
They just greenlit, or it's in talks for Dread 2 with Carl Urban. Dude, I'm so excited. That movie, it should already be on part fucking 3 or 4.
Which one was part 1?
Dread.
I can't remember which one that was because there were so many Judge Dredd movies.
There was 2 with that one. The Sylvester Stallone movie sucked ass.
Those were the only 2? So the other one was him going into the apartment building?
Yeah, which was just the raid.
Yeah, that's the first Dredd. Yeah, that one's good.
Well, they're finally making part 2.
Dang, that's like a long ways in between.
But people started a petition, and they're like, well, horror's coming back. I mean, it's not necessarily horror, but...
Post-apocalyptic horror.
I love Dread, dude. That movie, fuck, it's so good.
British comic books.
British comic book with a Mexican artist.
Yeah.
That dude, the extra features on Dread, I should bring it up there just so you can watch it. He's an old Mexican man.
That's awesome.
Looks like my tío. And
Yeah.
he just gets a marker, dude. He's all, oh yeah, and he just draws out Dread, dude, with all his mask and his face all pissed off.
There was a
I'm like,
girl
fuck.
I went to school with, and her big sister was working for them, doing I don't know if she was doing lines or inking or what, or coloring or what, but she was working on the.
I had so many of those magazines that I found at a fucking not a thrift store, a flea market, 2000 AD. Some dude was selling them for like a quarter, so I bought them all. Dude, I was like 19, 18, 19. I had them in high school, and I don't know what the fuck I did with them, man. But they were like big magazines, because they were the UK. You know the magazines from Bizarre magazine. I used to buy those because they didn't give a fuck, dude. They would show all kinds of weird shit. Bizarre.
I know
you can order online, or you can find them at Planet K.
It was called Bizarre. I don't remember that.
There's a lot of crazy, like bondage shit in there, but I went for like look at this guy, he fucking fell off this building and he lived to tell about it, or it was just bizarre shit. But a lot of naked girls.
I have seen that before.
But it was just a lot of naked girls, and I was like, I mean, cool, but
so I've been this last week. I did something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I wanted to start a new series. I don't watch that many series because I feel like they take up too much time. Especially if they're already done and they're like 18 seasons long or whatever. But I was like, I want to start The Strain. Guillermo del Toro's vampire masterpiece. And I also want to start True Blood. So what did I do? I started both. So now I'm just going episode.
And so I did that with that 70s show and George Lopez.
Dude, they're good. They're good. They're both good. I think True Blood is like a teen drama type.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's True Blood. I think was more for
Lonely Housewives.
Yes, I didn't know how to say it, but yeah, Lonely Housewives.
Wounded Fawns.
Wounded Fawns.
Yeah.
That say, you know what? I'm gonna go buy me a bottle of fucking Chardonnay, light my fucking special candle, and watch 2 episodes of True Blood tonight.
I want to show you something my phone just told me. It just recommended, IMDb just sent me a recommendation to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Dream Warriors. Okay, cool. It is the best Nightmare on Elm Street, I think.
When I was watching True Blood, because I was dating this chick at the time, and she was like, "Oh my God, you have whatever HBO." I can't remember where I watched it. We should totally watch True Blood. And I was like, man, I don't want to watch that shit. I don't really care for vampire fucking shows. Well, I got into it, and I was like, fuck. And I still tell you to this day, dude, that fucking, the final episode, that shit still haunts me. Like,
Oh, you told me that the other day when I told you I was watching it.
I
So
still
now
think
I'm
about
like,
it. I still think, I don't know if it's going to affect you the same way, but I was like, God damn. Like, it's up there. I think about it all the time.
Also-
Sometimes I'll just be sitting, I'll just be sitting out on my porch swing, sipping my herbal tea, and all of a sudden I just think about it.
Are they sitting in a bar? They're sitting in a bar, and like they're talking, and then all of a sudden a guy walks up with a stake behind him, and you just hear it goes black, and you just hear.
No.
Okay.
My favorite part is what was his name? Oh, the black chef.
Oh yeah. It starts with an L.
La 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 la.
La Lorna. La La Lorna. La La Lorna.
Oh God damn.
Louis Leon Lafayette.
Lafayette. My friend Don would dress for him as Halloween, and I'd be like, "Dude, you're gonna get canceled. You can't be doing blackface." And he was like, "Motherfucker, I'm gay for real. I can do blackface if I want." And I was like, "All right, you got me." But he acted just like him, and it was great. It was great. Have you ever got to the part where it's not a
We're
spoiler?
only like six episodes in.
There's a famous scene that I've watched on YouTube just so I could watch it again, where the redneck goes in there and says, "I don't want AIDS on my burger."
Oh yeah, that's the only scene I'd ever seen before.
I don't want AIDS on my burger.
That
Dude,
already happened.
that was great. That's a great fucking scene, man.
When he knocks the shit out of him. Dude, whenever the guy gets the
I was
super
sad.
boner-
He died in real life.
Did he really?
Yeah, not too long, like 2 years ago, maybe.
That guy's a good actor.
I'm pretty sure that was him. I'll have to look it up. Jamie, could you look that up? I don't want to be telling people he's dead.
Now I'm like,
That's how people. That's how people say.
he's dead. He
"Did
died
you
in a
hear-
plane wreck.
Did you hear?" That's how shit happens on the internet, right?
I know. I mean, it does suck though that Kevin Bacon died right after making Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's crazy. You know how he died?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear.
He was making. I know it's gonna sound stupid. He was making bacon.
And it popped in his eye.
No, this grease splattered on the floor and he tripped and he slipped. He did the whole whoa, and he hit his head.
I hope he hit it on the frying pan. He hit it on the frying pan where the eggs were and it cracked it. I mean, where the
sad.
bacon was and cracked it like an egg.
Sad.
It is sad. You're right. He died in 2017. Dang, how old's that show?
It's old.
You know what I wasn't expecting? Anna Paquin to like rip her boobs out and be like, "Here's my boobs."
Those weren't her boobs.
They were right next to her head. Did they CGI them?
No, she was wearing a bodysuit.
No.
Yeah, they took a cast of her boobs, made her boobs, and then put them on her. So you're not really looking at her boobs. You're looking at her boobs, her fake boobs.
Her fake boobs on top of her real boobs.
I just want to see how many times I can say boobs.
But then, like, her and the main vampire actually got married in real life.
Yeah, they're still married.
That's some crazy shit.
And you never see him. You only see him at night.
Who, the actor in real life?
Yes.
That's weird.
All right, don't believe me. Jamie,
No,
can
I
you
didn't-
look that up? All
I
his
didn't see it.
pictures. All his pictures are at night.
Yeah, but he's famous. He sleeps all day.
You're absolutely right, because I would too. I was going to say something else. Shit. About what's coming up. Oh, I'm excited for that Skimmermarink.
Oh yeah. So that's like an internet
It's huge right now.
internet thing with all the young kids and
It got famous on TikTok.
yeah. But I think what's going to suck about it is I hope cuz it got actually bought to be released in theaters, right? But it's also being uploaded nonstop to YouTube. I'm doing my best not to watch it on YouTube so I
Don't
can watch
watch
it in
it.
the theater.
Don't watch it. Wait, I am.
They need to get some copyright shit going so all that stuff gets taken
Did you
down.
hear how it happened?
No.
So they did film festivals. So they did this one film festival, and it has to be in a contract that says there's no way that anybody can record this or have it slip into somebody's hands at the film festival. So they signed this contract at this one. They didn't say which one it was, and they lied. It wasn't protected. So somebody got a hold of a copy and put it out online, and that was it. $15,000. They fucking crowdfunded it to make that movie.
It looks good.
If it makes money, it'll probably. I wonder if it'll outbeat fucking the Blair Witch.
I don't know.
But $15,000. That's cool. Yeah, watch the trailer. Do not watch the movie, please. Wait till it comes out of the theater. And then Shudder bought the rights. And Shudder doesn't do that. Shudder usually puts in the money to make the movie. Shudder doesn't buy movies that have already been made and produced by other people.
Yeah.
But they were like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and do this. So they bought it.
It's awesome. It's an awesome... the trailer looks awesome. I'm really glad that somebody's doing that. It's called Skimmery Dinky Dee, Skimmery Dinky Dee.
It's called Skimamarink. Just the way it sounds.
Skimamarink. I love you.
That fucking trailer, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah. I wonder if we need to figure out how, like, if we're just talking about something like this, we can just make their trailer pop up and play.
I know. That'd be cool. Super cool.
I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about this movie.
Other than you loved it?
I really liked it. I mean, dude, seriously, the cinematography on this blew me away. I don't think I looked up her stuff, and I think this is her first, like, full big film. And dude, you can't find shit about this movie. I don't know what the budget is. I don't know, like, I assume it's, like, pretty much independent. I mean, other than, Shudder. But, I mean, it couldn't have been that huge of a budget. And I feel like they did a really good job with it. And I think that cinematographer is going to probably go places. I feel like I don't know. I feel like she nailed it. I don't know how much she is. I looked up her Instagram, and I don't know how much she actually is into horror stuff, but man, I feel like she blew this away. Like there were some shots that just make you feel like tense, and I don't know. It's exciting. It's exciting to see new people coming up and independent filmmakers making good shit.
And I like how they're cool enough to, like, when you post stuff on the Sinister Sinema, they actually talk to you. And
oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I just asked her. I was like, because I was trying to look up what kind of camera she used, and I was kind of wondering. The reason I was wondering is I was like, man, is this like an old ass camera? Like, like is this a '90s or '70s camera or whatever, or is it an actual is it like a new one? And it's a new one. I mean, it's an RE, so it's I'm not sure which version of the 416 it was, but it's it is an RE, so it's not like some old ass camera. But she told me, I asked her about the artifacts, the grain and stuff, and she said it was all real. Like that's all. Like they didn't add anything to the film. It was like actually how it was shot. So I think that's really cool because the look of that, I loved the look of it. I like that people are making stuff that actually looks old again without, because dude, I'm going to tell you, I don't like the digital 4K now going into 8K. Like, it's too sharp. It's just too much. Like, it's lost that film quality.
That's why I don't buy 4K.
Man, and
I like DVDs. It still looks kind of grainy. DVDs look grainy.
Well, I mean, even if they take,
but VHS is a shit, man.
Even if they take, even if it's on 4K, if they don't like try to do some crazy like 4K restoration, and it's just the original I mean, I don't know what that does, but you know, you get a lot of extras. But man, sometimes the stuff just looks too sharp, and it's like they're not using the right like uh black filters and stuff to give it to soften that at all, and it just looks so unreal to me. Like my eyes see that, and I'm like, this doesn't look real. It doesn't look like a movie, and it's like weird. I don't know. That's just
I don't know, but I want to see. The reviews came out for Avatar 2.
oh yeah.
And it's like, everybody's like, holy shit, like blown away, dude.
You couldn't film that in 16 millimeter because there's too much CGI.
They said, people are just like, how the fuck did he do this? Like, they're that blown away by it. So I can't wait to check it out.
They said that thing's got to make how many? $2
$2 billion
to break even.
I think it will. I think they got to make $2 billion because they gave $1 billion to the people, the critics, to say all that.
Best movie I've ever seen.
Oh my God, you got to see this. You're gonna blow your tits off in 4K.
I also listened to an interview with the lead actress on this thing, and the entire Sarah Lind, this thing was actually filmed. That's like a real house that they found on Airbnb in New Jersey. I'm like, that's
cool.
Pretty cool. We could rent that. We could rent that house.
It's cool because
we could rent that and make part 2.
It's cool because
we would be the Greek boys.
Lyrics Dunn had to be the location scout for independent little shorts, and she has to go to the people that own it and talk to them and have them sign a contract.
Film stuff here.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought you could just do it all guerrilla style.
I do feel like that's what the porns do. They're just like, we don't tell anybody what we're doing. I do feel like Airbnbs must make it so much easier on location scouts now. I mean, you're just like, instead of driving around looking at stuff, you're just like, that one looks good.
Oh, that one's cool.
Yeah, it's got 72 photos, a pool. This bathroom looks cool. It's nice.
I can
70s.
see bodies. that would look like a fucking Airbnb.
Yeah.
One more thing I was gonna say. Wednesday. You should have started watching Wednesday. I can't believe you started watching True Blood.
I'll start watching Wednesday in like 5 years. I'll wait till they're all out.
Why are you gonna start 10 seasons of True Blood?
It's only 8, I think.
When you could have started 1 season of Wednesday. And I think Wednesday is way better than True Blood.
Really?
It is fucking great. Like, I'm going to start it again probably this week. Like, it's so good.
Well,
The story's good. They need to put fucking Guzman more in there. Fucking, what's his name? Rodrigo Adams. What the hell's his name?
I don't know. But that dude's awesome.
And Morticia.
Dude, he's so good in The Do-Over. Have you seen The Do-Over?
Oh, yeah.
With Adam Sandler. Dude, he's so good in that.
Fucking, what's her name? Nailed it, dude. Nailed it.
Who?
Wednesday, playing Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
But now every fucking other TikTok on Instagram is
the Wednesday dance.
Goth girl doing some goth girl doing a Wednesday dance, and all I do is put no on every single one I see.
Well,
no.
I told you about how Edward Scissorhands like kicked off the goth revolution with like chicks and stuff. I think that's what this show's gonna do again. It's gonna be like there's gonna all of a sudden be like everybody's gonna be goth and this is Tim Burton too, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's cool. He directed most of them, and I was like, "Good job, he's back." Like
I told Emily, if we're ever rich, I want to hire Tim Burton to design my backyard. Just make it creepy and very uninviting, but also cool. Dude, Frank just asked if we watched Rob Zombie's Monsters. I loved that shit. I did not think I was gonna. I
kept fucking telling Frank.
Oh my god,
I kept telling Doug, dude, give it a chance. It's pretty fucking funny. Like we were laughing, like right?
Yeah, it was good.
He's so fucking goofy. Dude, when they first show him in the biker suit, in the biker uniform, and he's playing, it's a badass song, too. Like, it was fucking great. I couldn't stop. Even Blaine was here, and he was like, what the fuck?
Dude.
He was like, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, people...
Yeah, I watched it while you were gone. I watched it in October.
Shit, it seems so long ago.
We watched it, like, before a stream. Like, right before a stream. Because we had, like, a late stream that night. So, well, all I gotta say is, this thing is... Look, if you're gonna watch this thing, you know, if you...
Take a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah, that would do it.
I should have fucking took mushrooms. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once the other day on mushrooms. And I was fucking tripping balls. Like, bad. I got up and I was like, holy shit. Like, the floor was, like, moving.
That show's already like that.
And then I looked down at my hands and they were hot dogs.
I don't believe that.
Not that part, but the floor was moving.
I don't really have anything else to say about this movie, but I did really like it. I think it's, you know, I think it's worth the hype, in my opinion. I also feel like when we're talking about that, there's a shit load of horror coming out just nonstop. It's like the biggest genre right now. It's crazy. And I don't know if it's going to burn out.
Every time, I think it will, dude. It's going to be overkill. Every time I get on my YouTube, I watch probably 60 to 70% of the shit I watch in my house is YouTube. When I'm cleaning, I just hit play and whatever comes out. I'll tell you, last night I was watching trailers and then I started cleaning. I went to the kitchen, deep cleaning my kitchen, the counters and shit. And I was like, is that fucking Franny Drescher?
Franny Drescher.
And I was like, what the fuck is on? I was watching horror trailers. So I go and I sit down and I was like, what in the fuck is this? And I didn't know she made any movies. Fucking Beautician and the Beast.
That is the shit.
It is. I fucking sat there for like 5 minutes and I was like, and then I saw, what's his name? James Bond. Timothy Dalton.
Oh, he's in it too?
Yes, he plays the fucking dictator. And I fucking got hooked. And I finished watching the whole fucking movie. There was only maybe like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And I was like, I think I could get used to a fucking voice.
I mean, there's so many horror movies right now. And there's so many new people getting into horror. And I think it's, you know, we're in a place where this hasn't happened before. I think, like, you know, I've talked about before. There's pivotal movies through the times, and right now that's happening again. I can't really pinpoint one movie right now, but like, you know, for me when I was a teenager was Scream. Like, I was already super into horror movies, but it seemed like when Scream came out, everybody got into horror movies. Well, that's happening now, but I think it's like, it's not just one movie. It's like a bunch of little, it's like Mandy, it's like Hereditary, it's like, you know, all these things. And now we have YouTube. So now there's the old fucks like us who've been watching horror movies since the early 80s, late 70s, and never really, you know, only talked about them with our friends. But now you have this whole generation of kids that grew up on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. So they're getting into these movies and they're starting all these channels. Every time I get on, there's
some
like
of them are
just
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think our show's terrible, but I like doing it, so I don't want to keep doing it. But
I don't think we're terrible. I think we're all right. We talk about all kinds of shit.
Right. But it's crazy. Like, every time I get on, it's like, holy shit, here's a new horror review channel. Or here's a new horror podcast. Dude, I listen to so many podcasts. Like, I listen to them when I'm working out or mowing the yard or whatever. Like, when I'm alone in the shop in the morning before people come in. And a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'm going to look at, you know, whatever. I'll look up new horror ones. And there are...
Sid.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Sid. She said we're very entertaining. So, but I'll look up like a horror, like you put a horror podcast. Dude, it's like new ones come up every time. And then it's even crazier. Go on your podcast app and type in a name of one of your favorite movies, like 80s horror or whatever. Dude, like 40 fucking podcasts will come up that have talked about it. And you're just like, holy shit. So I try to listen to them, and the majority of them are so bad. The sound's terrible, like the whatever, like they're just like bullshitting like we are, but not as funny as us. So that's a whole nother thing. But there are so many, and I've found a couple that are really good.
I'm sorry,
really
you said me wrong.
Me funny.
You said my name wrong.
Oh, when I say we, and say Carlos is funny.
I'm just playing.
But
yeah, there's Jamie said there's like 4 horror movies at the Draft House.
Dude, right now.
Eating, what is it? Bones and all.
Dude, I can't even keep up with them. It's crazy. It's and I wish I could. I wish I had more time to do this. We got to figure out how to turn this into a full-time job. That's what we have to do. I've got some plans. I got some ideas. We got to bring more people on board though. It involves all kind of stuff. Violent Night.
Violent Night is it's not horror. It's action.
Is it? You would call that action?
No, they came out and said we're not a horror movie, we're an action movie.
Okay. What's the cannibal one?
To the Bones and all?
Oh, okay, yeah. Dude, Pinocchio,
Chef,
that looks great. That's supposed to be starting at. Oh, that's at Draft House already? Okay.
Yeah, that thing's been out. All of those are out.
Yeah, I want to see Chef.
Pinocchio comes out tomorrow.
Dude,
I think it might get nominated for Best Picture. Pinocchio.
Chef? Oh, Pinocchio. Sid, Chef is the premise is there's this world famous chef.
Chef's the menu, not chef.
Huh?
The menu.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Wait, is that what you're talking about? M? Yeah. I knew what she was talking about though. Yeah, it's called The Menu, not Chef. But in the preview they say, yes, chef, a whole bunch. It's this world famous chef who invites all these like influencers.
I know nothing about it. Nothing.
Oh, see, I've seen some spoilers. I'm not going to say them now, but the trailer, they invite all these people out. I just like that it has John Leguizamo on it. Yeah. Well, Sid, it's a horror one, and Voldemort's in it. He's the main character.
They said he does fucking great. Like, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what it's about. I just know they go out there and they sit down, and then shit just starts going ape shit.
Yeah, I saw.
And Chris Stuckman came out and said it's a fucking dark comedy. Like, he said the whole theater was laughing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's.
And I don't even know if that was considered horror. Like,
I've seen that it is considered horror because of what happens, but yeah, it looks good. It looks good. But there's just so many. It's hard to get out and see them, and then
there's so many Christmas horror movies coming out too.
I know. It's like the first time since the 70s. There were a shit ton that came out in like the 70s, and now all of a sudden they're coming out again. They just released Black Christmas on 4K.
I don't get it.
Canadian
I'd rather
Christmas
have it
horror.
I'd rather have it on regular old DVD.
I think the only thing about 4K.
Any 80s movies, horror movies, I'll buy them on DVD.
Well, I mean,
But if I'm out at like CD Exchange and I go to the Blu-rays, and if I were to find the 4K fucking Black Christmas for $7.99, of course I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not paying $49 for that fucking thing.
I think the only thing about the 4K or the Blu-ray or whatever is the extras. Once Blu-rays came out, like, extras became a huge thing. And so I was actually at DVD Exchange not too long ago, and I looked at, I can't remember what it was. It was one of the movies we reviewed during, no, it was the one where M came on with us. One of those ones. But I can't remember what it even was. But
yes, CD Exchange.
The Blu-ray was like $20, and the DVD, and it's an 80s movie, so it's gonna look good on either one because regular DVDs already higher quality.
What was it, $3.99?
Yeah, and that was super cheap. And so all I did was look to see what the extras were, and they were exact same on both of them. So I got them. I got the cheap one. As long as the extras are the only thing that's worth paying for on those.
The best place to buy
Pawn shop.
Yeah, but they scavenge those fucking things. High price bookstore.
Oh yeah, those get scavenged too. And okay, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight. This is something that really upsets me. Beckett.
I was gonna mention that when I said that they talk back to you, that actors have been talking back and directors. What did you say?
Beckett, who has
they fucking ruined it. I'm sorry.
Has forever been a
baseball card.
They started out as a baseball collecting. You could send your card into them, send it into them in a plastic case. They'll take it out. They'll look at it with little gloves and charge you $25 and be like, "This is a grade A, so you can sell it for this much," or an A plus.
And they would put it in plastic, hard plastic,
with their little
which
logo
is no
on
fun.
it. So, and that's for like people that collect and want to resell them at auction and all this shit. Okay, that might be cool if you have like a Babe Ruth rookie card or something. Then they moved into comic books, which made all the comic book stores start raising their prices. Every time you go in a comic book store, whether it was graded or not, the Beckett there would come out every month, and they'd look through and say, "Oh, this Spider-Man is now worth $5," even though it's like, they probably would have marked it for $3 or whatever, and that's like with an A grading, and it's in a case where people have been flipping through it. It didn't matter. Everybody jacked their prices up. Everybody was like, "Nope, this is an A plus, so it's worth this much." They have just announced that they are going to be grading VHS tapes. It's fucking, I think the cheapest grading, which is a 90-day turnaround, if you send your VHS to them and they grade your VHS. So I assume they watch the movie to make sure the sound's good. They look at the cover. They look at all that shit. $65 for them to grade your VHS. Now, most of my VHS, and I have a lot of horror VHS. It's all in the background. It's all over the place. I probably paid the most, like $5, maybe $10 for some of the like really rare ones, clamshell ones. These motherfuckers instantly are gonna make if that perfect condition clamshell that I paid $10 for, if someone sends it in and they get it graded for $65. And it's in a little case that says, that it's locked in the case because once you take it out of the case, you got to get it regraded again. All of a sudden, that VHS is no longer for watching. It's just for sticking on yourself and saying it's worth this much money. And it's also instantly that VHS that you paid $10 for that might be graded to A or whatever, B, whatever. No matter what it's graded to, you're going to add $65 to the cost of it because you paid for it to get graded. So then people are going to start seeing that shit on eBay, and they won't know what the grading system is at all. They'll just see like, "Oh, Kevin Bacon Stirs of Echo VHS $75, which used to cost you $10. So they'll be like, "Oh shit, I've got one of those," and they'll put it up for $65. And all of a sudden, everything will go crazy. And people that normally are just out like kindly looking at Goodwill for like tapes or whatever, there's going to be a whole new group of people that are just doing it for money.
Going out there and grabbing fucking
everything and putting them on the internet. And it's going to fuck the entire market for people that actually want them to watch
and
them.
Actually watch them. They
Yeah.
put them in this fucking piece of plastic. You can't take them out.
Yeah, I'm so bummed.
I'll be there at the house and I'm like, I'm going to watch fucking...
So like I like literally like
Night of the Creeps.
what happened, like somebody posted something about like garage sale finds or thrift store finds, and I was like, at Beckett's gonna fuck that all up.
And they were like, well, good morning to you too. And I was like, fuck you, man.
I wrote them back and I was like, it's fucking true. They didn't write back after that.
Fucking dickheads.
Yeah. I'm bummed about that, dude. Like,
they ruined everything for us.
It was already a self-regulating market. People knew if it was a good one. You go on there and you say, like, oh, this is, like, because the ones that are, like, excellent case, dude, I don't give a shit about the case. I care about how they sound and how they look.
Have you looked up any of them, people trying to sell them now that are graded?
Is it already going up?
Dude, like, people are looking, I don't know if it was fake or not, like $10,000-$15,000.
Dude, it's fucking
for a tape graded 10 because it's sealed.
A fucking tape. A tape.
That's it. I'm done taking out my mic.
Yeah, so bummed. I wanted to end it on an angry note.
Let's hope.
I thought that about the comics, and they're still doing it.
Yeah, but it's tapes, though.
Yeah.
Look what happened with Disney.
With the black diamonds.
So I wonder if they're gonna. I mean, fuck, they could do that with the Disney.
I mean, the fact that you got
all the Disney that I've bought, and I bought it like they were like $2. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it as a Disney tape. I don't expect anything out of it, but they were used to be going for like $200, $300.
I think if you want the quick turnaround, which is considered 30 days, I think it's 90. No, it's over $100 to get your tape graded. I think it's over $100. I looked it up and I was like, this is some bullshit. So, anyways.
On that note.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done for the night. I'm just going to drink myself into a stupor.
Thanks, Beckett, you fuck.
Hope all the Beckett executives are watching us.
Beckett,
man, Venus gave us 2 subscribers today. That's awesome.
I know, that's cool.
I don't think Venus has ever chatted on the page.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
So,
could it be?
It's Venus.
It's going to keep me up at night. It's going to keep me up.
So, I guess that's about it. Unless you got anything else to say.
I'm fucking hungry.
Whataburger? I got a card for a free Whataburger.
Nope.
Buy one, get one free.
I'm going to go home and make me some.
I'll get mine fully loaded. Yours is meat and cheese only.
Taters.
Wait, you get meat and bread and what? Mustard? Mayonnaise?
And lately, since Sergio.
Just mustard?
What in the fuck is that? PH Lovecraft?
Cthulhu.
Some little Jabberwocky?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm done.
I know I'm done.
I got nothing else other than to say, like, if you got Shudder, watch this thing. Because it's, I heard it was going to possibly be streaming on other platforms soon for money, though, So, might as well pay for Shudder. Pay for AMC Plus.
Look up Shudder right now if you don't have it. I always say, did I say PH? I always say it wrong.
PH Lovecraft.
It's my dyslexia.
He's very alkaline.
PH Lovecraft. Oh yeah, look, there's a Black Friday sales going on still.
What?
For streaming services.
Oh, okay.
Yes, $1 a month.
They need people, dude.
They're doing $1 a month on some of them for a whole year.
That's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we don't really know what we're watching next week, do we?
There's too much shit. Maybe we should do like Smile. You want to do Smile?
Yeah, I'd love to do Smile.
I think it's for rent.
I wanted
for like
to see that in the theater. I'm bummed that I missed it in the theater.
$3.99.
It's one of the biggest grossing movies of the year or some shit.
Somebody, who the fuck told me Ryan messaged me.
Dude, I saw a fucking spoiler from it the other day, and I was like, no! Like, I just happened to see it on somebody's page, and I'm like, you sons of bitches. Which, I mean, we do spoilers too, but we let people know we're doing spoilers. I accidentally
Yeah, Ryan messaged me and said, hey, have you seen Smile? And I was like, no, is it good? He was like, you're going to like it.
Cool.
And I was like, how the fuck do you know what I'm going to like?
He's like, it's full of Greek mythology.
Hey, Paco.
It's going great. We're actually just just finishing up the stream. We were just about to say goodbye.
No, I can't. James said it's on Paramount. I don't have Paramount, and I'm not adding it. That'll be
I
17.
thought you did have Paramount. You got rid of it?
No, I never had it.
You sure?
Yep. If I get Paramount, I'm gonna have to get rid of one. It's too many,
Apple.
man.
Get rid of fucking Apple.
But I can't. I have to. Ted Lasso, the final season. Don't fucking lie. You know you
watch Ted Lasso and then get rid of Apple.
No, I mean the final when it comes out.
I've been watching some on Apple and I can't remember. Jamie, what was I telling you I was watching on Apple?
Severance,
yes. That
you
shit's
still,
good.
You still want me to get rid of it?
Yeah, I'm in the free trial. I keep getting free trials.
Still I'm paying for this shit for nothing?
Yeah, sneaky.
You could be watching everything. I have it.
I'm like,
I only got Apple for Ted Lasso.
But it's not even showing right now.
It is. I was rewatching it.
Oh, you're rewatching. But I mean,
it's only like $4 a month or some shit.
I know.
So I'm like, might as well just keep it.
They're probably losing money too, but they don't. They're probably good. It's like Amazon.
They're not fucking losing money. Dude, those motherfuckers make so much money.
No, I'm saying on the streaming side.
Yeah, but they're like, it's all right.
We're coming out with a new iPhone
next month.
It's like
we're gonna make like $17 billion.
It's like Prime.
It's all right.
So, okay, well, Wounded Fawn, check it out. Shudder or Paramount, and that's probably it. Next week we'll do Smile. Awesome. I'm excited. Cool. You gonna get us out of here?
No, go ahead.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Tune in and talk shit.